Welcome to PowerCat Live. I'm here with Alexandra Lee, Principal UX Research Manager for Power Platform. Hi, Alexandra.
Hi, Phil.
You're working on Power Platform for a while now. What is your background at Microsoft? How did you get to this role, and what do you do now on the team?
Well, it's a long story, and we didn't discuss this before the call, but I actually used to be an architect, like a brick and mortar kind. And then when I started practicing, I realized I don't just want to build beautiful things for the top 1% of the world. And I wanted to I had this big dream of wanting to democratize design and putting it in the hands of everybody. And when long story short, when I came to Microsoft, it presented a really awesome and unique opportunity to do that with scale in the digital kind of transformation org that we're part of. So it's been quite a journey.
That's quite a transition. What's it like designing buildings versus designing software? Does it feel freeing? I mean, you're not constrained by as many materials.
I think there's a lot of parallel in software where we also think about the architecture of how we position things and how we provide kind of this digital experience to end users. So I do bring a lot of kind of systems thinking and ways of thinking about the building blocks of how we create digital experiences with my architecture background.
And so when you're doing that for Power Platform, how do you make sure that you're focusing on the right needs that are going to help Power Platform evolve the way it is?
I think, Power Platform has one of the most ambitious, but also very inspirational mission to deliver this ability to transform, businesses and organizations that want to accelerate. We actually have rebuilt our personas around kind of jobs to be done framework, which is really about the structured way of thinking about what users need. And when they reach for a product like ours, regardless of what brand we represent or what capabilities we invest in, it is ultimately about delivering kind of based on the needs and the values that are important to our customers. And the jobs to be done allows us to think about that in a very solution agnostic, but also customer first mindset. And so rebuilding those, how we think about personas traditionally, it's about this kind of set of static assets of, folks with specific job titles, how old they are, and, what kind of their education background is. But we live in a world where things are changing all the time. And, we even myself, I was an architect in my past life, and now I'm doing digital, research. And so it's about recognizing how society is evolving, and then being able to align how we understand our users and deliver those with kind of just-in-time insights that we provide.
And can you describe more about what does jobs to be done mean? What does it look like when you have one of these that is forming and when it's done and ready to be implemented?
Yeah, so jobs to be done is a very simple framework or a way of thinking about structuring what we're building and what people really want to get out of the product. And so it's not just about asking them what they need, but really trying to understand the root causes of their needs and whether or not our products and services can resonate at that level. And when we can activate motivation, it's actually really hard to motivate somebody to change their habit or change kind of the pattern and behavior of how they
I think we've all experienced that.
Right? Yeah. We all do. It's so hard to kind of be an early bird if you are a night owl. And so the framework really focuses on understanding the alignment of the products and capabilities that we invest in with the motivation of the user. So if there's no motivation that we can associate the things that we're working on, then is there really truly a market for what we're developing? And so it kind of cascades all the way up to the business goals, all the way down to the usability, the pieces that we're well known for. So it is, I think, it's kind of like an Uber point around jobs to be done, in that it helps us meet that kind of customer obsession mission that we have, and then being able to deliver it at a product level and thinking about those as like kind of values that we have, and able to deliver at different altitudes, because products offer solutions and ability to deliver those business goals at different levels. So, it is even more important for us to make sure we have the right target and audience in mind, and aligning to those needs as a way to optimize our end-to-end user experience.
And so you've got to, when you're defining those, you've got a tough job of balancing needs of the enterprise users, like those that PowerCat deals with, and the next 50 million makers that are going to discover the platform for the first time. How do you balance those?
As I mentioned, like we spent the past year like really rebuilding our personas from the ground up. And one of the other motivations for doing that is currently we get like customer signals from so many different places. So PowerCat focuses on like the top 1 or 2% of our Microsoft customers. So that is a very important and valuable signal based on early adopters of our platform, and we were able to build really successful businesses relying on those and helping our customers be successful, right? But then we also have kind of target market of people that we want to appeal to, and I think we're at kind of this inflection point in the business and the maturity of the platform where we need to we need to scale. And for us to scale, we need to also be able to meet the needs of the target audience and like the sector that you just described as like a 50 million developer skills gap that we have globally. So those kind of it's a way of aligning the values and the needs across like those two distinct spectrum. And then as a research group, like we do a lot of usability studies and evaluating like early kind of concepts and prototypes with target audiences and current customers to make sure we're headed in the right direction. So we do provide like a lot of directional signal as it comes to like user needs and how they kind of can transform our products to be successful on day one.
And part of this, so if you're going to go at this kind of scale you're talking about, and with people that maybe haven't used technology like that, I'm sure you're looking for things that are familiar to them. Like, Microsoft 365 is certainly one of those that has, many more millions of users than we're talking about. Are those constraints that you have to work within in order to be successful, or how do you manage that?
Yeah, I mean, I also love this idea of like fusion teams, right? Like that's the hot topic in the low code application platform. Right. And we also talk about that a lot internally about like how platform is built, on top of, Dataverse, and now like we're enabling a lot of Dynamics 365 application, consumers on the dynamic side, because, the components that we build on the platform are used equally well by like citizen makers, like who don't have like a coding background, but also professional developers that like are just looking for those Lego blocks to quickly build an app. And the part of the agility that we offer as a platform is really unparalleled. And and we're also like one of our earliest adopters of the platform are not only those kind of enterprise customers, but also internal users as well as existing Microsoft users. And like platform, I think, helps us really think about what it means to take that next cultural shift where everybody becomes a maker. And Satya talks about like how COVID has accelerated tech adoption, but it needs to really go beyond helping people adopt technology, but also empowering them to make their own, like becoming creators in their own right. And I think that's going to be very transformational, and in this being like the next wave of transformation we're anticipating. And I'm really excited about it because this is like digital transformation and democratized technology writ large, like happening now.
And for people watching that want to participate in usability research, how do they get involved?
I mean, if they're existing Microsoft customers, like we, and if they're like on the Power Platform, we regularly invite folks to join the research panel, which we manage directly. And so we would then reach out to them and have a conversation, or if there's like an interesting up and coming concept that we want to validate, we also invite people to participate in that. And so joining kind of the research panel is a really good way to get involved. And if there's any other ways that we can help customers and connect with them, like I would love to work with you to figure that out.
Well, Alexandra, thank you so much for taking the time to talk. I think this is a fascinating topic and really important to making sure that Power Platform is usable by the next 50 million or more.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure, Phil. Thanks for your time.